Hi, this is Kanaya, and today is January 18th. And now I'm going to stick to the orange. So, before we get started, I want to show you something real quick. So, I made this hat, and it has beautiful ridge, and you see here, it's the beautiful hat. So, now I want to talk about more of the abuse of power. Well, I want to talk more about the abuse of power. So, the abuse of power is when you're attacking another person. So, the abuse of power is the misuse of a position of authority to gain an unfair advantage over others. It can occur in many contexts, including the workplace, government, and personal relationships. Examples of abuse of power: bullying can be abuse of power, using authority to intimidate, harass, or bully others. So, if someone is bullying you, then you can stand up for you can tell them to stop, or you can tell an adult. So, if, let's say, for instance, if someone was calling you names and making fun of you for who you are or how you look, then you would go and tell a trusted adult that's gonna take care of you and always willing to stand up for you. Because I don't like bullies. Bullies make me sad. So, corruption. Engaging in corrupt practices such as bribery or em- or embezzlement or an embezzlement, discrimination, treating people differently based on race, gender, religion, or other protected characteristics. Physiological abuse, using power to manipulate or influence others in a way that harms their mental health. Physical abuse, using power to harm others physically. Financial abuse, using power to take advantage of others financially. Sexual abuse, using power to take advantage of others sexually. Take advantage of others sexually. Abuse of power can be subtle or overt, and it can have a negative impact on the well-being of others. It can also lead to reduce productivity and affect the atmosphere in the work environment. Abuse of powers can be difficult to detect, especially when the abuser has a high social status or influence. So, someone you know might have like abuse problems, or maybe if they try to abuse you or something that they did, then you must go get help immediately. So it says the abuse of power is when someone misuses their authority or higher position in a hierarchy to take advantage of key, or it says Kiops, or let's see, coerce, coerce or harm other people, and it can lead to different types of abuse, such as physiological, physical, financial, and sexual abuse. So, let's say if this person did physiological abuse. So let's see what physiological abuse can look like, because some people will try to, let's see, physical, so physiological abuse. So let's see. Because some people be doing like physiological abuse to bite, or so let me see what those look like. So it says a physiological abuse is a pattern of non-physical actions and words that are used to manipulate, frightening, or hurt someone. It could also be called emotional abuse. So if you manipulate someone and someone is if someone's trying to keep their cool and you're just manipulating them, that means you're hurting the other person, because you say things to insult them, or you say things to hurt someone, so it makes them feel hurt, or it makes them feel sad. So as long as we don't get into these type of situations, you must walk away immediately or right away. So it says, what does it look like? So what does physiological abuse look like? It looks like isolation, like forcing someone to be separated from friends, family, work, or school. Threats, threatening to harm the victim, their children, pets, or others. Gaslighting, intentionally making someone question their reality or mental health. Humiliation, embarrassing someone in public or in front of others. Name calling, calling someone names or demeaning them. Control, they trying to control someone else's time, actions, or what they wear or do. Jealousy, being jealous of the time spent with friends or family. Withholding affection or attention as punishment. Why is it harmful? Physiological abuse can be just as harmful as physical violence. It can destroy a person's sense of safety and self-esteem. It could change how someone thinks and acts. Who can affect? Physiological abuse can affect physiological abuse can affect anyone, including children, the elderly, and people in relationships. So if you make threats or you try to hurt them physically or emotionally, that means you're hurting them. So you don't want to hurt the other person. So let's see what physical abuse means. So just kind of get the idea of what each word means. So So, so physical abuse is intentionally bodily injury. Like some examples including snapping, pinching, choking, kicking, shoving, or inappropriately using drugs or physically restraints. Signs of physical abuse. Sexual abuse is non-consensual sexual contact. Any unwanted sexual contact. So if you do like physical abuse, or if they do physical abuse, so that means they like pinching and choking and kicking or shoving or stuff like that. It's called physical abuse. So that means you're attacking a person. So 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 now we can look up financial abuse. So financial abuse is a form of domestic abuse and is a way of having power over you. It involves someone else controlling your spending or access to cash, access and finances. This can leave you feeling isolated, like lacking confidence and trapped. So, so it says, what are 5 examples of financial abuse? So it says expose your economy situations. It's like they steal your money or property, they cause damage to your property, refuse to contribute to household costs, spending money needed for household items and bills, misuse money in joints, misuse money in joints, bank accounts, insist all bills, credit cards, and loans are in your name and make you pay them. So that's how financial abuse is. So that basically tell you that they just using you for your money. They don't care or have respect of your money. If if people doing financial abuse, they controlling your spending or access to cash, assets and finances. So I don't have no control on how to spend your money. You can spend your money however you want to. So the thing is, it's just sad to be in this situation where people is doing anything. It's sad to be in this, where people just don't care the fact that they work hard for them. So how do you improve? Well, let's see. Economic abuse is a little bit different, but how? So how do you identify financial abuse? Financial abuse including having money or other property stolen, being defrauded or scammed, having money, property, perception or benefit misuse. So so it's just so it's not a good idea to mistreat people's money and don't have respect for it. So it says, what are the signs of financial abuse? So financial abuse can be when someone cashes in your pension or other TQs without your permission, adds their name to your account, pressures you to change your will in a way you're not comfortable with, has offered to buy shipping or pay bills with your money but takes it and doesn't use the money how you agree. So you rather cash someone else's pension without their permission, without asking, add your name to their account, or pressures them. Well, they rather. So let's see what cashes in your pension is before I really say so. So what does cashing in your pension means? So cashing your pension means withdrawing the entire amount of money. Alright, so cashing in your pension means withdrawing the entire amount of money accumulated in your pension fraud as a lump sum. Essentially taking all your retirement savings at once instead of receiving regular monthly payments throughout your retirement. This usually involves significant tax implications and is generally not recommended as a primary retirement strategy. So it says, key points cashing in a pension. Access to funds. You receive the full value of your pension in a single payment, giving your immediate access to the money. Tax consequences. When you cash out your pension, a large portion of withdrawing amount is typically considered taxable income, meaning you will likely owe a significant amount of tax on a lump sum. Age restrictions. Most pension plans allow you to access cash withdrawal only once you reach a certain age, usually around 55. Alternative options. Instead of cashing out, most people choose to either purchase an annuity, guarantee monthly income, or set up a drawn down arrangements where they can withdraw a portion of their pension pot as needed. So let's see what a lump sum is. So just to get a full understanding. So a lump sum is a single payment made at a particular time as opposed to a number of smaller payments or installments. So a lump sum payment is an amount paid all at once as opposed to an amount that is paid in installments. So this is pension pot as needed. So let's see pension pot as needed. Let's see. So pension pot as needed means that you can access your saved retirement money your pension pot only when you require it, allowing you to withdraw funds in smaller amounts at different times rather than taking a lump sum all at once, essentially letting you dip into your pension as necessary to cover expenses in retirement. So, key points about pension pot as needed. Flexibility: you can withdraw money from your pension pot whenever you need it, then depending on your current financial situation. Tax consideration: depending on the withdrawal method, a portion of your withdrawal may be tax-free, while the rest will be taxed as income. Investment growth: the remaining pension pot can continue to grow through investments even as you withdraw funds, potentially providing a large pool of money for future needs. So it says dip into your pension as necessary. So it says dipping into your pension means withdrawing a small amount of money from your retirement savings as needed. Essentially assessing your pension funds before you reach full retirement age, usually to cover immediate financial needs or expenses. It implies taking only a portion at a time rather than cashing out the whole amount. Key points about digging into your pension. Flexibility: this option allows you to take money out when you need it, but it's important to consider the long-term impact of your retirement savings. Tax implications: depending on your location and pension scheme, withdrawing money from your pension may incur taxes on the amount taken out. Potential risks: regularly withdrawing from your pension can reduce the amount available for retirement, especially if you don't replenish it. So if you don't replenish it, meaning fill it up again, like if you don't fill it. So that's basically what it means. So let's go back to financial abuse for a sec. I was going into something else because I want you guys to know what it means to have money for your retirement. So if people do financial abuse, they take all your money, put their name in their accounts, and pressures you to change your will in a way you're not comfortable with. Like, so let's see, change your will. So, change your will means to legally modify the instructions in your assistant's last will and testament, usually by creating a separate document called a codicil. A codicil is a legal document that asks to change or remove part of a will. So let's see, codicil. Mostly by creating a separate document called a codicil, which outlines the specific changes you want to make. you want to make to your beneficiaries, assess distributions or execular details without having to rewrite the entire will from scratch. Key wills about changing your will. Reasons to change. Major life events like marriage, divorce, birth of a child, death of a beneficiary, significant assess changes, or simply a change of mind can prompt someone to update their will. Methods. Most commonly, you will create a codicy, which is a legal document that acts as an amendment to your existing will, detailing the specific alteration you want to make. Legal process. Like your original will, a codicy needs to be properly signed and witnessed to be legally valid. So, at least changing your will means so that's what it means to change your will. Like you legally modify the instructions in your existing last will and testament. So you can change your will. No one else can't say, oh, you have to change your will. No. Because that's not how it's supposed to go. So I'm gonna read this definition in a simpler way so you guys could understand. So, financial abuse is the mistreatment of someone's money or assets. It can include theft, fraud, coercion, coercion, coercion. So financial abuse is the mistreatment of someone's money or assets. It can include theft, fraud, coercion, and the misuse of property. Financial abuse can also involve restricting someone else's excessive money, employment, or possession. Examples of financial abuse like stealing money, misusing money, fraud, exposing someone else's financial affairs, pressuring someone to sign a financial contract, coercing someone into debt, preventing someone from getting a job, stopping someone from studying, harassing someone's colleagues. So financial abuse is often a form of domestic violence, and it can happen to anyone, including elderly. It could also occur alongside other forms of abuse. So what that tells you that they don't have respect for your money. Like they just come and take your money and you do whatever you want with your money, or so that's what it tells you right there. They don't have respect for your money. They just use it up whatever they want to. They just take your money, use it up however they want to, and they pushing and pressuring to change your name or add their name to your account so you can pay for it. But that's not how all of it works in life. You have to earn money. You can't just take it. So the lesson learned can be taught. So this part would be a lesson learned to anybody who do financial abuse. So now let's look up sexual abuse. So what is sexual abuse? When a child or a young person is sexually abused, they're forced, tricked, or manipulated into sexual activities. They might not understand that what's happening is abuse or that is wrong for the abuser to do it to them. They might be afraid to tell someone or behave as though this is normal for them to experience. Both are valid for the child to be displaying. Sexual abuse can happen anywhere. So sexual abuse is when adults touch kids inappropriately and they do nasty stuff to them. So sexual abuse can happen anywhere, and it can happen in person or online. It's never a child's fault that they were sexually abused. It's important to make sure children knows this. Type of sexual abuse. There are two types of sexual abuse: contact and non-contact abuse. And sexual abuse can happen in person or online. Contact abuse. Contact abuse is where an abuser makes physical contact with a child or forces the child to make physical contact with someone else. This includes sexual touching of any part of the child's body, whether they clothed or not, using a body part or an object to rape or penetrate a child. Forcing a child to take part in sexual activities, making a child undress or touch someone else's. Contact abuse can include touching, kissing, or an oral sex. Sex abuse aren't just protract or portrait a child. Penetrate, using a body's part or object, or rape to penetrate a child. Contact abuse can include non-contact abuse. Non-contact abuse is where a child is abused without being touched by the abuser. This can be in person or online, includes exposing or flashing, showing pornography, exposing a child to sexual acts, making them masturbate, forcing a child to make, view, or share child abuse images or videos, making views or distributing child's abuse image or videos, forcing a child to take part in sexual activities or conversations online through a smartphone. So it says, find out more about grooming and child sexual exploitations. Although their definitions are slightly different to sexual abuse, they are all forms of child abuse. Signs of sexual abuse. Knowing the signs of sexual abuse can help give a voice to children, and it can give support for that child earlier on. Sometimes children won't understand that what's happening to them is wrong, or they might be scared to speak out or to speak up. Some of the signs you might include, so let's see, like emotional and behavioral signs. Avoid being alone with or frightened of people or a person they know. Learn language or sexual behavior you won't expect them to know. Having nightmares or bad wedding. Alcohol or drug misuse. Self-harm. Changing in eating habits or development in eating problem. Changes in their mood. Feeling irritable and angry and anything out of the ordinary. Changes in normal behavior for the child. For example, suddenly not intending education or avoiding wanting to go home or running away. Physical signs. So, if a child is being or has been sexually abused online, they might spend a lot more or a lot less time than usual online, texting, gaming, or using social media. Seem distant, angry, or seem distinct, upset, or angry after using the internet or texting. Be secretive about who they're talking to and what they're doing online or on their mobile phone. Behaving as though they have to be online at a certain time or rushing to get on their phones. Having lots of new phone numbers, texts, or email addresses on their mobile phones, laptop, or label. Expressing the need for money. This may be used if they are being blackmailed. So it is hard to say something for children. They might be scared. They might be scared to address these issues because they don't know what to say in the situation, because adults be touching them like inappropriately and touching their body parts, so it's kind of nasty to them. So children and young people also drop hints and clues about the abuse. So if you worry about a child and want to talk to them, we have advice or having advice or having difficult conversations. So I'm gonna give advice after. So I'm gonna read: if a child reviews abuse, if a child talks to you about sexual abuse, it's important to listen carefully to what they're saying. Don't push them too much, but allow them to talk freely or answer. Let them know they've done the right thing by telling you. Tell them it's not their fault. Say you'll take them seriously. Don't confront the allied abuser. Explain what you'll do next. Report what the child has told you as soon as possible. Decide if they need medical attention. Effects of sexual abuse. Sexual abuse can have both short and long-term effects. The impact of sexual abuse can last a lifetime. Children, young people, and adults may live with anxiety and depression, eating disorder, post-traumatic stress, difficulty coping with stress, self-harm, suicidal thoughts and suicide, flashbacks or nightmares, sexual transmitted infections, pregnancy, feeling of shame, guilt, and isolation, drug and alcohol problems, relationship problems with family, friends, and partners. So it says, who is at risk? Any child is at risk of being sexually abused It is important to remember that both boys and girls can be sexually abused. Most children who have been sexually abused are abused by someone they know. This could be a family member, a friend, or someone who has targeted them like a teacher or a sport coach. Children who are sexually abused online could be abused by someone they know. They could also be abused by someone who commits a one-off sexually abusive act or a stranger who builds a relationship with them. Some children are more at risk of sexual abuse. Children with disabilities are more likely to be sexually abused, especially those who are unable to tell someone what's happening or don't understand what's happening to them is abuse. Some abusers target children who may be isolated. For example, a child may be in care or they may already be neglected by their parents or carers. Other abusers target families or children who have no obvious vulnerabilities. It is important to remember that a child is innocent and the abuser is at fault. Report sexual abuse. To report sexual abuse, contact the Children's Social Care Team at their local council. So the numbers I wouldn't even so now you can contact the child's social care team or the local council, or they can sign up for a therapist too for the abusers. So, because something could be happening to their child that they don't know about. So, even though at young children at a young age, the parents would tell them they be touching them all inappropriately, your chest, your body, and the parent might not need this much attention. Well, the kids doesn't need that much attention. So it says, what are some examples of sexual abuse, like inappropriate touching or rape, oral penetrations, attempted rape, or penetrations? Yep. So that's why it's important to stay safe from the abusers, because you never know what could a child be going through. So that's why adults shouldn't be touching the child inappropriately, because they don't know what a child could be going through. It could be going through happy times or sad times. So that's why they're too young to get this kind of attention right now. So I don't think it's really a good idea for adults to be touching children, because of the fact it could affect the children and you never know what's going through their mind. So that wouldn't be it for this problem. So once we understand what this is about. So the type of abuse are the physical abuse, domestic violence or abuse, sexual abuse, physiological, emotional abuse, financial or material abuse, moderate and safely discriminatory abuse, organizational or institutional abuse. So it says, how can you deal with the power of abuse? So you can try to talk with that person, or they might go and get help. So it says, how do people cope with abuse? Like, therapy can help you process with your emotions, develop coping skills, and build self-esteem, and heal from trauma. JASA support group, domestic violence supports groups can help you voice your abuse among people who have similar experience. They can be a source of support, inspiration, and advice. I know domestic violence is a bad thing for people, so let's see what domestic violence is, so we can get the understanding of it. So domestic violence is violence or aggressive behavior within the home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse or a partner. So it says, domestic abuse is typically manifest as a pattern of abusive behavior towards intimate partner in a dating or family relationship where the abuser exerts power and controls over the victim. So the four main types of violence are physical, sexual, physiological, and deprivation. Violence can also be characterized by the relationship between the victim and the perpetrator, or or by the group committing the violence. So let's say if the person is attacking you and you don't know, or physically attacking you, you might call the therapist. So now, once we know the 4 words and their actual meaning, we can try talking or go get help if needed, if they still doing these type of abuse. So, because talking doesn't help the person. So the best thing you can do is tell them that they need to go and get help, because they get out of control and they don't know what to do with themselves. So this is how. So if you don't know how to get help from a therapist, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get help from a therapist. So how do you get help? Well, get help. Get help from a therapist. So to get help from a therapist, you can reach out to an insurance company to find a network therapist. Search online directories for therapists in your area. Ask your primary care physician for referrals, or contact a mental health hotline if you need immediate support. Once you've found a few potential therapists, you can contact them to schedule an initial consultations to discuss your needs if they're a good fit for you. Key steps to finding a therapist. Identify your needs. Figure out what issues you want to address in therapy to help narrow down your search. Check insurance coverage. Contact your insurance provider to see which therapists are covered in your plan. Online directories. Use online platforms like Physiologically Today, or your local health provider website to search for therapists in your area. Ask for recommendations. Talk to your primary care doctor, friends, or family members for potential therapist referral. Initial consultations. Once you've found a few therapists, contact them to schedule initial meetings to discuss your needs and see if they're a good fit. So if you need immediate support, call a mental health hotline. Reach out to the SAM HSA National Helpline for immediate assistance. Crisis text line. Text home to convert with a crisis counselor. So this is how you get help from a therapist. So just in case if your child or your husband get into this abuse situation or abuse you, so that's how you will get help. You call the therapist to help you immediately. So because the first thing you would do, you can try talking to that person, or you would try to get help. So it says what can you say if someone was doing physical logical abuse. So now, if they're doing well, it says how can you respond if they was doing physiological abuse? So all you So you can tell them that they need to go and get help. So if they were doing, or if they have been about, or it says, what can you say about their abusive behavior, or so so first thing is first, you can work with, so let's see. So it says, how do you deal with abusive person? What do's and don'ts of dealing with abusive situations? You can call 911, you can work with a therapist, contact a hotline or local shelter, you can strengthen your social network, or you can attempt to keep interactions in public areas. Reflect on why you want to stay connected to this person. So so once you had contact the therapist, so it says, what would the therapist you said therapist I said, what would you say if you contact a therapist for help? So it says, when contacting a therapist for help, you should clearly state your reason for seeking therapy, explaining your current challenges or concerns that you want to address, and inquire about their ability and approach to treatment while being honest and open about your needs. For example, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm reaching out because I've been struggling with blank lately and would like to explore therapy options to manage it. Key points to include: introduce yourself, state your name and reason for contacting them, seeking therapy. Describe your concerns. Be specific about the challenges or issues you're facing, like anxiety, depression, relationship problems, etc. Ask about their expedite. Inquire if they have experience working with people facing similar issues. Check availability. Ask about their scheduling options and potential appointment times. Be open and honest. Express your genuine desire for help and be willing to share details about your situation. So, example opening lines. I'm reaching out to discuss potential therapy opening for managing my recent stress and anxiety. I'm interested in learning more about your approach to therapy for and whether you might be a good fit for me. Could you tell me more about your experience working with clients who are dealing with specific concerns? So it says include your name and contact information and why you're reaching out. It's important to be honest and straightforward about why you're looking for support. Remember, no matter what your reasons are for seeking therapy, your therapist is there to listen and won't judge you. So now let's say physical logical abuse. So now once you contact the therapist for help, so it's someone would, so it says if you were to contact the therapist, so it says contact the therapist, explain your reasonings, why are you there for a certain reason, why are you scheduling it for a certain reason. So now the therapist will respond to you. It says what would the therapist say if you contact them for help. So it says if you contact a therapist for help, they will likely respond with something like, it sounds like you're going through a tough time and I'm here to listen. Can you tell me a bit about what's happening? Essentially, acknowledging your need for support and encouraging you to share details about your situation so they can at least assist you. Key points about a therapist's response when contacted for help. Validation. They will likely validate your feelings and experiences, saying things like, it makes sense that you feel this way, or this is a difficult situation to navigate. Open-ended questions. To understand your situation better, they will ask open-ended questions like, what are you struggling with right now? Or can you tell me more about what's happened? Offering support. They will reassure you that you are not alone and they were there to help you work through your challenges. Assessing urgency. If your situation is considered a crisis, they may ask about immediate safety concerns and suggest further steps like contacting emergency service if needed. So they might say, it sounds like you've been carrying a lot on your shoulders. It's only natural to feel this way. I can see why you feel that way, and I'm here to help you through it. What you're going through will be tough for anyone, and acknowledging your feelings is an important step towards healing. So it says, common saying therapists use. What do you think it means? Wait. So bring me up to speed. how is that working for you? So what you're saying is, don't sweat the small stuff. You can't control the situation, but you can control your reaction. Nothing good comes easy. So they might use expressions like they might use expressions. So let's go back for a second. So it says, "Hi, my name is so and so, and I'm reaching out because I've been struggling with physical abuse lately and would like to explore therapy options to manage it." So or it says, "Hi, my name is so and so, and I've been reaching out because I've been struggling with specific, like, they might struggle with." So let's read the types of abuse again. Like, they might struggle with physiological abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, and sexual abuse. So they might experience all of that. About physical. So let's go back for a second, because it's really important to get help from your therapist, so at least it would be a good opportunity to learn about how you can manage that situation, because therapy only takes amount of time. It only takes the amount of time that you meeting up with them. So once they call you on the phone and they schedule a specific time, so that says it's because the therapist say if you meet up in person. So it says if you unexpectedly meet your therapist in person outside of a therapy section, they would most likely simply say hello back to you if you initiated contact, but would generally avoid engaging in any conversations that could reveal details about your therapy session to protect your confidentially. They might even choose not to acknowledge you at all unless you clearly want to interact. So it says, key points to remember. Confidentially is the key. A therapist's primary concern in such situations is to protect your privacy. So they will usually wait for you to make the first move. Take your cue from the clients. If you greet them, they may respond with a friendly hello, but we're likely to keep the interactions brief and non-revealing. No discussion of therapy. They will avoid talking about your therapy section or personal details when meeting outside the office. So it says, your therapy will take your lead, and at most they will say hello back with you, but will probably not engage in conversations to protect your privacy. Seeing your therapist in public can bring up many different feelings that you can then process in your next section. So if you meet up in public, so I know this is how therapist is. So if you meet up, so the therapist might say, hello, what brings you in today? So it says to a client, a client who meet up in person. So let's see. So now I'm just like, therapists might say when they come in. So it says when a client enter a therapy section, So it says when a client enters a therapy section, a therapist might tropically greet them with a warm welcome, like, hi, my name is so-and-so, good to see you today, or welcome back, often followed by, so let's say if you meet up with the therapist, say, oh, hi, my name is, oh, it's nice to see you. Often followed by an open-ended question to initiate conversation such as, how are you feeling today, or what would you like to talk about? Aiming to create a comfortable and safe space for the client to share thoughts and experience. So now, key points to remember. Positive and welcoming tone. Like the therapist strive to make clients feel at ease with a friendly and supportive demeanor. Open-ended questions. Instead of leading questions, therapists often use open-ended questions to encourage the client to share their perspective. Validation and empathy. Acknowledge the client's feelings and validating their experience is important. Examples of what a therapist might say. It's great to see you again. The client's name. How has your week been? Take a seat and let's get started. What is on your mind today? What's on your mind today? I've noticed you seem a bit thoughtful when you came in. Is there anything you like to share? You mentioned topic from the previous section. How you feeling about that today? So once they greet you and let you in, so let's see, how do you tell? So let's see. So it says, let's go back for a second. So now they greet you and let you in and talk about your day and your mind. So let's say, how do therapy or the therapist do the therapists deal with abusers? Abusive relationship, or so let's say you guys are in an abusive relationships. So it says what to do when a client is abusive. Stay calm, maintain your composure, and don't take their abuse personally. This helps you to think clearly and respond appropriately. Listen actively. Allow the customer to express their frustrations. Set boundaries. Politely but firmly let the customer know that abusive language is unacceptable. So, if you want help from the therapist, you have to show the same respect as the so you have to show the same respect, because if you don't show the same respect, they will kick you out of the therapy office and won't return back in. So it's a choice. It's a choice if they want to deal with this abusive behavior. I mean, it's how do therapists can help with abusers? So now you're helping them. So let's say the person is the therapist and you're helping them with their abusive problems, and you're helping them recognize these challenges. So they might ask, is there any challenges that you're going through? They might say yes, or well, let's see what question, like some of these, they might ask questions based on what's going on in that situation. Might ask about abuses. So it says talking to your therapist about abuse. So let's see. So I know a lot of people who is experienced with abuse can talk to a therapist, or so at least you're a therapist. So let's say two of you shared a chair and the therapist came in. So let's say you two meet up with the therapist together, and then the therapist sits in front of you and asks you what's going on. They say, hi, what's your name? So it says, what do therapists say to the clients when they meet for the first time. So let's see. It says when meeting with a client for the first time, a therapist tropically greets them warmly, introduce themselves by name, and say something like, "Nice to meet you, thanks for coming in," or "It's great to see you." So the client might say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so," and the therapist might introduce you to their name. So they might say, "It's nice to meet you," or "Thanks for coming in," or "It's great to see you," essentially acknowledging their presence and expression applications for them starting therapy. So it says key points about initial greeting. Greeting and positive and welcoming tone. Therapists aim to create a comfortable environment by using a friendly and approachable demeanor. Belief introduction. They will state their name clearly and may add a short phrase like, "I'm," that's the person's therapist's name, blank. Whoever name it is, whether it's a male or female. Normalizing anxiety. Therapists might acknowledge that it could be nerve-wracking to meet a new therapist for the first time. Example phrases: a therapist might say, "Hello," the client's name, "Please come in. It's nice to meet you. Welcome. I'm blank," or like a miss or doctor, whatever your name is, "and I'm glad you're here today. Thanks for coming in. Let's get started by talking about why you're here today." So they might give you reasons, or they might give them reasons why they're here, or so during the first section, your therapist may ask you, "What is your symptoms? What brought you to therapy? What do you feel is wrong in your life?" So depending on what they're going through, they might ask questions like, what is the most challenging in your life, or what brings you into therapy. So let's say, what are your symptoms? So let's see. Examples. So they might say example answers. So they might experience anxiety, or they might experience it like sleep issues or abusive behaviors. So how do you address those issues to the therapist? So now the therapist is here to see you, and they want to know what has been going on in your life that you're struggling with, that they can help you with. Now meet the blanket. This is so long. And this is it for this video, guys. No, this is it for this video. So I hope you like, subscribe, and comment down below on my YouTube video. And thanks for watching.